Good Morning San Antonio starts right
We've been
now.
digging through the computer models this morning, and we're worried about some dry air that will be coming in from the west. This means another day of fire danger. I know we sound like a broken record, but we got the latest data coming in. We're going to pass it along to you coming up.
In just a few hours, Brad Simpson will be back in court. He's charged in the death of his wife, Suzanne Simpson. Why the case has been delayed for so long.
And 2 men are found guilty for one of the darkest days in San Antonio history. Migrants found dead or fighting for their lives to survive in the back of a tractor trailer. But we're going to tell you why they will not be sentenced for a few months. All right, good morning. It is now Hump Day, Wednesday, March 19th. Hopefully you guys are getting off to a great Wednesday out there.
Definitely. It's definitely going to be another windy one for sure. Let's get right over to meteorologist Justin Horn. Hey, Justin, those trash carts moving around yesterday.
They will be. They moved around yesterday. They'll be moving around again today. We've got some probably stronger winds headed our way a little bit later this morning as some very dry air comes in from the west. So let's first start with a look outside. If you're walking out the door right now, maybe you're heading to work early, here's what you can expect at the moment. And that is actually some humid conditions. 66, humidity is at 81%, but this will not last. These southeasterly winds you see here will switch around to the west. Dry air comes in by sunrise, and then we start to get those gusty winds. So prepare for a windy day. Here's a look at the dew points, and these are going to be in very important numbers today. Dew points right now are at 60. That is humid air. You can feel it. But look at these numbers out to the west. For the dew point in Junction, -15 in Rock Springs. That is as dry as air gets. That's what we can expect. That's the air mass that'll be coming in here soon. You combine that with gusty winds and you get a very high fire danger, and that's exactly where we'll be today. Keep in mind, I know we say it a lot, but don't be dragging chains behind trucks or throwing cigarettes out the window. This is that kind of day where fire could spread very quickly. As far as rain chances go, we're not going to see any in the short term, but there is a very small chance by the time we get into the weekend. Other big story here, get the jackets ready. It's going to be chilly tomorrow morning. We're looking at low 40s here in San Antonio. Coming up, we're going to be looking at some of the fires across Texas. There are more to talk about and where they are containment-wise. An update there here in just a couple minutes. But let's get you out the door this morning and on the roads. What's the latest, RJ?
All right. Thank you very much for that, Justin. Taking a look at your traffic authority right now. And again, the one thing that we do want to specify is that there are going to be those TransGuide traffic signs that do indicate some of that wildfire activity. So if you see those on your highways, just keep in mind that is just TransGuide, and TxDOT letting people know about some of the conditions. As far as the current road situation right now, take a look here. 35 at 1604 northeast side of town. Basically, we do have construction delays out there. 35 north going towards Topperwine, going towards parts of Live Oak and Selma out there, as we give you another look there at our camera there at 35 and 1604. Let's go to Alex Gomez on the roads for us this morning in Drive Cam.
Yeah, good morning, RJ, and happy hump day. Check out the far northwest side, RJ. This is going to be I-10 westbound near Wurzbach Road. So far, no issues on this side of town, but I'm going to be out here. I'm going to be out and about, and I'll let you know where those slowdowns are at, RJ.
All right, thank you very much for that, Alex. Well, happening today, our top story here, he's an accused killer making an appearance in court.
Brad Simpson charged in the death of his wife, Suzanne Simpson. Suzanne last seen alive 5 months ago in Olmos Park. Our very own Patty Santos joins us this morning with what's happening in court today. Good morning, Patty.
Hey there, good morning. As you guys remember, her body has still not been found. So here's what's delaying this court process. The state has been waiting on the final piece of evidence to be turned in by the Texas Rangers. Today's court hearing is a discovery hearing. That's basically a meeting where attorneys share with one another what evidence they have in this case. Judge Joel Perez is presiding over this hearing. Now, he gave attorneys 30 days to gather all the evidence they needed. Evidence from the Texas Rangers was taking longer than expected to be received by the state, with the prosecution still waiting on some forensic testing. And to give you an idea of how much evidence they have to look over in this case as they get ready, the prosecution said it expected to have 5 to 6 terabytes of evidence originating from the Texas Rangers. Meanwhile, the defense said it had about 1 terabyte of discovery it still needs to go through before moving forward with a motion to cancel the indictment. Now, Simpson has been in custody since October 9th. days after his wife, Suzanne Clark Simpson, disappeared from the couple's Olmos Park home. Now, even though Suzanne Simpson's body has never been found, a Bexar County grand jury in early December indicted Brad Simpson. That was on charges of murder, tampering with evidence with the intent to impair a human corpse, tampering with fabricating evidence, physical evidence with the intent to impair, and possessing prohibited weapons. Now, we will be live streaming Simpson's court appearance on all our KSAT streaming platforms. It is set for later this morning around 9 a.m. You can find the links on information on our website, ksat.com, right now.
Thank you very much for that, Patty. Well, now to this, one of the darkest days in San Antonio history. Migrants dead or fighting for their lives in the back of a tractor trailer on a sweltering hot day. Felipe Orduña Torres and Armando Gonzalez Ortega each standing trial for their involvement in this migrant smuggling tragedy that happened on Quintana Road 3 years ago. Both those men have now been found guilty on all counts that they face in connection to that incident. The jury met for 2.5 hours yesterday before reaching a verdict. That is video from the scene. Both men now facing up to life in prison, but they will not be sentenced for another 3 months. The judge set that hearing for June 27th, telling the pair, quote, they died on the 27th and your liberty, if any, will be determined on that same date, end quote. Prosecutors showing jurors photos of the victims and inside of the truck.
It's just one close-up photo of the many claw marks that were found in the trailer, claw marks from when they were desperately clawing at the sides, trying to get out. You could see that insulation, the scraps of it, and how it's fresh right below the claw marks. You could see that all over the trailer.
Now, other people were convicted in this horrific crime. An alleged recruiter was just extradited to the U.S. However, a co-leader is still not in custody. The 11 survivors from that trailer are reportedly still in the U.S. They've been given the opportunity to apply for visas meant for crime victims.
Now to a missing persons case. It's been a little more than a week since Northwest Bexar County woman disappeared, and just less than a week since she was found dead. Last Monday, 28-year-old Maria Delis Siles was reported missing to Bexar County deputies. Over the next 48 hours, deputies would announce her as a missing person and eventually discover her body not far from her home. Now, there's still no definite answers from investigators about what happened to her. Only a small memorial sits in that place. But questions still remain.
I'm wondering what happened, yeah, because this has always been a quiet day.
If you know anything that can help deputies in their investigation, you are urged to call them. That number, you see it at the bottom of your screen, 210-335-6000. Again, it's right there at the bottom of your screen, and of course posted on our website at ksat.com.
Chief Justice John Roberts pushing back this morning against President Donald Trump, calling his push to impeach a federal judge inappropriate. This comes as President Trump faces legal battles over the deportations of alleged Venezuelan gang members, flights that continue despite a court order. Meanwhile, another judge has ruled that Elon Musk's team at Doge might have violated the Constitution by dismantling USAID, with growing tensions between the White House, the judiciary, and the fight over the executive former. The fight here is far from over.
5:08 right now, 66 degrees outside. Good morning, San Antonio. Yo, March Madness is beginning today. It's the Texas Longhorns versus the Xavier and 11-seed showdown. In the first four, we'll hear from the Horns themselves as they look to punch their ticket to the big dance.
And everyone loves shopping on Amazon. I mean, who does not? And now is almost the time for Amazon's spring sale. We're going to tell you when you need to mark your calendar.
Welcome back, 5:11. After an awesome regular season, the UTSA Roadrunners will next face the 4-seed Gonzaga in the Women's Basketball Invitational.
Absolutely, yes. UTSA receiving an automatic berth into that tournament about a week ago, though. The Roadrunners were upset by Rice in their conference tournament, and that bad taste has them fired up for this upcoming game.
We did have a tough loss, obviously, in the tournament, but we had a little break, and, you know, we think we can make a run in this tournament. So it's just about being together, staying together, and realizing that not a lot of teams are playing in March right now. So we need to be grateful and get this dub. I think that our team is very hungry right now. Usually when teams get disappointed in like their tournaments and stuff like that, some people check out, some people have a shifted mentality, but I think one thing that I'm very proud of this team is just us staying positive and keeping our heads up and just coming in here every day hungry and ready to work.
We're feeling good, like I said, it's a blessing, so we're not going to take anything for granted. We're just going to go out there and use our identity. We're going to rebound, we're going to play hard, we're going to try to keep our season, we'll prolong our season for as long as possible.
Roadrunners will play at the Zags Thursday night in the WBIT first round.
All right, yes, birds up to them. While the Texas Longhorns now, the men will open their NCAA tourney against Xavier later on today in the first 4 round, Jeff.
So the Horns are one of 14 SEC teams in the NCAA men's tournament, and that's a new record breaking the Big East mark off of 11 in 2011.
Yeah, I think that 14 SEC teams making the tournament is definitely historical. I think it goes to show the depth of the league this year, and it was challenging night in and night out. So I think that definitely prepared us for this opportunity we have in front of us. And it'll be nice to play, a school from a different conference now and get a different look than what we've been going through the last 3 months.
It just shows how good the conference is, or can be. I would say having all those teams make it, it's kind of be fun and good see how good teams and how far they get throughout the tournament to see how good the league is against other schools from different conferences.
Okay, here we go. Texas facing Xavier today in Dayton at 8 o'clock tip-off time. The winner will move on to play the Illinois Fighting Illini. Now to the South region, the Fighting Justin Horns, Texas A&M to getting ready to face Yale in the first round of their men's tourney. The sides will play in Denver. That is 5,280 feet above sea level. So you can imagine playing at that altitude can be tough.
Yes, I think it matters. I think the hemoglobin in your blood, you need oxygen in order for it to carry, and they say that it takes 72 hours. The good thing is that every team that gets there is going to have the same altitude problems. Sometimes it'll cause you to be sick, not just from my cardiovascular, but some of the altitude sickness, not just the cardiovascular. Sometimes that comes into play, but every team that goes to Denver is going to experience that, not just us.
A little biology for you. Okay, so that game tips off at 6:30 in the Mile High City.
All right, yes, that air is definitely a little bit thinner there. Let's go to our TransGuide Authority right here, Traffic Authority, and our TransGuide traffic cameras. Taking a look at I-10 right there at Callahan. Traffic moved along pretty good. 10 at 35 in that part of the area. 10 at West Avenue on the northwest side. Traffic looking okay for the most part across the city. The only thing we're seeing at the moment is going to be this construction delays out here on the far northeast side of town. Of course, we do still have that going on there, Martin and Cesar Chavez. So we are now seeing some pretty good backups here for our drivers that are coming in north right now. Looks like this activity may be a little bit further past 1604 and 35, closer to Retama and Olympia Parkway. Remember, they kind of continue to move things, their convoys, basically from this stretch here at the Forum all the way down to parts of Topperwine. Right now, it looks like they're working on that specific area. Alex Gomez on the roads for us in Drive Cam. Let's check in with him. What's up, Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, there's no construction delays over here on the far north side. 1604 is excellent in between I-10 and 281. So I'm going to keep on moving. I'm going to make my way to the northeast side. I'll let you know what I find over there, RJ.
All right, good to see you, Alex. Thank you very much for that update out there in the north side.
I tell you what, people are out and about. They might need to hold on to those steering wheels a little bit tighter today, huh?
Yes, it's not only going to be windy, guys. The humidity, and I mentioned this off the top of the show, is something we're going to watch so very closely because these numbers are really low. This is not air that we see very often here in South Texas. This is the kind of air where you're going to have to bring out the chapstick because it is just extremely dry. Now, it does present a problem, because when you get air this dry and you get gusty winds with that, you start to really walk into a fire danger here. And I think this is what we're going to be looking at this afternoon. Relative humidity values are going to drop below 10%. Even at 7 o'clock, we're still only around 10%. So again, with those northwesterly winds gusting at 35 miles per hour and that kind of air in place, know that we have an extreme fire danger today. And it's not just us, it's a large portion of Texas. But we've all here in the Lone Star State been dealing with this wildfire issue. And here in San Antonio today, we've got to be oh so careful. Let me show you the current large wildfires that are going on. And really there are three that I want to highlight here. And by the way, this map, you see these red spots? Those represent hot spots or fires that the satellite can pick up. And then this gray area is where we're seeing a little bit of smoke. Now, this is some of that agricultural fire smoke that's coming up from Mexico that we see from time to time. But when you get these little individual plumes here, this is a large fire. That's the High Lonesome fire up there in the Panhandle. There's another one here, the Windmill. Now, this one's almost contained. And of course, we've got the Crabapple. That's one of the larger ones in the state as well. That's 90% contained, which we'll talk more about in the show today. But all of this to say that much of the state is dealing with this wildfire issue, and there are still some fires going. So with those gusty winds today, this could add insult to injury. Outside right now, 66 degrees at the airport. Southeasterly winds at 5 miles per hour. And if you're walking out the door right now, know that it is humid, yes, but it will not stay that way. That low humidity will be here right around sunrise, and you'll feel the difference as you walk outside this morning. 62 at 7 o'clock, 61 at 8 a.m., 64 at 9 o'clock, noontime, 73, mostly sunny, and look for a high near 80 today with clear skies, but those gusty winds out of the northwest. I'd say 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts close to 35 today. We'll see a bit of a break in the action perhaps this evening. So what we're looking at here is forecast winds today, a little bit of a break this evening, and then more gusty winds overnight as another little boundary comes through. And then by tomorrow morning, winds will go light and we'll get some chilly weather. Make sure the kids have the coats ready tomorrow because it will be a chilly start. 41 here in San Antonio as we officially welcome spring in. The spring equinox is tomorrow. 80 Friday. This weekend, more humidity and a small chance of rain on Sunday. And coming up next half hour, we'll talk about why La Nina is playing a role in all this. And we're going to get into March Madness, which is my favorite time of year. So my question this morning, my Just Ask Justin question is, which of these Texas schools has not made it to the NCAA championship basketball game? Not necessarily won, but just been there. Your choices are Texas Tech, UTEP, SMU, and Houston. Scan a QR code or go to ksat.com/poll and let us know what you think.
Well, I'm going to vote with the viewers today.
Okay.
Well, yo, why they gotta throw shade at I'm El Paso native, man. Come on now. That's a little bit of an interesting question, Justin. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay, moving on here. If you love Nintendo, better start saving now. A new Nintendo Switch could be coming in May. Pretty cool there. Why it could be dropping sooner than you think.
And we could be seeing a lot more AI in the drive-thru very soon. How it could be making getting your fast food even faster.
In today's Tech Bites, Amazon's big spring sale. The 7-day event starts next Tuesday. Amazon is promising big savings on winter items and up to 40% off on spring favorites, including outdoor furniture and gardening supplies. Walmart is rolling out its spring sale the same week. Next, new details about a potential release date for the Nintendo Switch 2. Online tech reports say the gaming console could be released as early as May. The original Switch launched in 2017 for $300. The Switch 2 is expected to cost $400 or more. Finally, a new way to speed up service at the drive-thru. The parent company of Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut is about to test artificial intelligence ordering systems, not to just take your order, but to suggest menu items that have a quicker turnaround time. It even suggested I add pickles to my order, but considering I don't like them, it was quite the dilemma. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Better make sure them orders are correct. It is 5:24 right now, 66 degrees outside.
Oh boy. Okay, San Antonio Spurs, they are back home at the Frostbank Center later tonight. We're going to hear from Steph Castle and head coach Mitch Johnson sharing their thoughts on how they can improve after getting blown out by the Lakers earlier this week.
And ahead at 5:30, new rules could make it more complicated for some people to collect their Social Security benefits. We'll tell you about the changes that you need to know about to make sure that you still
5:27 right now. Spurs back in action tonight at home at the Frostbank Center after a tough loss in LA. We see him right there. Steph Castle started at guard during the game in the West Coast, but the Spurs lost at the Lakers. He did pick up 3 fouls early on, sent him to the bench earlier than he wanted, but then he was able to fight through it and lead the team with 23 points.
it's hard for a younger player when they get in those spots. Then the next one was just an incidental trip, but to continue their aggressiveness and their competitive, because they're not trying to get the next foul. I thought he did a better job just playing. Just play and don't worry about it. And if you foul out, screw it. But I don't think we've had many guys foul out this year, so just need to continue to play through it.
Trying to play defense kind of without fouling. At some points it felt like I couldn't really touch people, but just trying to make an impact on that end of the floor without getting them on the free throw line.
Okay, let's see if they get it done. The Spurs taking on the Knicks back home tonight in front of the home crowd out there at the Frost Bank Center.
All right. Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks so much for waking up with us on this. What day is it?
Wednesday.
There you go. Hump day. Here we go. 5:28, guys. Thanks so much for watching us.
Yes, and I want folks to know as you're walking out the door this morning, it may feel humid right now, but it's not going to be that way all day.
Right.
We're going to get some dry air.
Going to have to turn that air on a little bit in the
Absolutely.
cars.
Make sure you do that. Let's go ahead and check out some of our traffic stuff that we've been following over the past 30 minutes or so ago. Okay, so just spotted this right here. So 1604, 151, looking like we do have some delays out there for our drivers. As you take a look at that one camera shot out there, okay, it looks like they may have already started to clear out some of this activity right here. Earlier, we did see some backups for our drivers that were going west over there by West Military, SeaWorld, over by Wiseman also. So it looks like things are starting to clear out there. So again, that is good news there for our drivers on that side of town, the far west side, if you will. Let's go ahead and show you another shots here as I turn this back on and we go to the TransGuide traffic cameras. 90 Meadow Creek on the west side of town. Traffic looking pretty good there. 21,000 Oaks, keeping my eye on this one. Seeing these flashing lights there for a little while. So I'll continue to see what is exactly going on there on the north side of town. 37 South Cross traffic looking pretty good there. 10 at Callahan West. So again, 151, 1604, we have cleared that out. Let's go ahead and check out with Alex Gomez in Drive Cam. See how things looking. Alex, what's up, man?
Well, good morning, RJ. There's a lot of construction that's also cleared out on the northeast side, especially right there, 1604 eastbound at Lookout Road. Those roads are open. 35 southbound is also looking very fast this morning. No construction there. It's only those northbound lanes, 35 north headed outbound, in between about Retama Park and Topperwine. That's where we have some heavy slowing, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Alex Gomez in Drive Cam for us on this Wednesday.
Okay, we mentioned that humidity. It's out there right now, but again, it's fleeting because this will be out of here soon. 66 degrees if you're walking out the door right now. You really don't need a coat. And it's still going to be pretty warm today, although we'll start to see some northwesterly winds kicking in here soon. Southeasterly winds right now at 5 miles per hour, and that's why those humidity levels are high. But as that dry air pours in, and that happens, by the way, right around sunrise, then we start to get into this extreme fire danger. And it feels like we've been talking about this so much in March, but here we are again. And this does include Bexar County, really our entire viewing area. We've got to be so careful today. Wind gusts to 35 miles per hour, very low relative humidity, and that equals that high fire danger. So know that it'll be windy this morning. Again, around sunrise, we'll see the winds pick up, 62, 73 midday, windy. We could also see some blowing dust, by the way. And then this afternoon, a high near 80, clear and warm. As promised, coming up, we're going to talk about why we continue to see these fire dangers. And then coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll check in on that air quality. We mentioned some blowing dust. How's that going to affect your allergies? More on that in just a bit.
Thank you very much, Justin. And as he just said right there, definitely with that wind, we're going to see a wildfire concern throughout the rest of this day. This morning, the crabapple fire burning north of Fredericksburg, now at 90% chaff contained after burning nearly 10,000 acres.
So later today, officials with the Texas Division of Emergency Management expect the American Red Cross to assess damage in the area. Avery Everett shows us this morning that locals have already been collecting donations to help their community.
Piles of hay helping people in need. And this is just a small showing of the donations being collected right now to help farmers and ranchers affected by the crabapple fire.
As soon as someone in Fredericksburg hears that somebody needs help, there's going to be somebody there to help them.
There's no hesitation?
No.
The crabapple fire has burned nearly 10,000 acres in the Fredericksburg area since Saturday. As of Tuesday night, it was 90% contained. But officials say it's still burning. That's why these neighbors have mobilized together and started collecting items that farmers and ranchers need to make a living.
The number of customers that we had that came in immediately Monday morning to ask what they could do to help. I mean, it's just amazing. We've sent, I guess, 3 trailer loads over. We wanted to donate half a truck, so we filled the other half of the truck, and then we'll haul the rest of that out to the distribution points.
Over the last couple of days, they've collected donations like bales of hay and different kinds of feed here at the Gillespie County Fairgrounds. The city of Fredericksburg says they've gotten so much of it that they've met their current needs for this kind of supplies. Gillespie County has partnered with the One Star Foundation, Rebuild Texas, to create the Crabapple Disaster Fund. Donations can be made online to pay for emergency aid, essential supplies, and long-term recovery assistance. For businesses like Lochte Feed and Allied Ag Services, the people impacted by this fire are a lot of their friends and customers.
They're stewards of the land, so they care more about that land than their own home probably. On top of dealing with drought and hail and disease, then to have a fire come and wipe it out, it can be a little defeating.
Whether it's remotely or on the ground, people say there has been no hesitation to get out and help.
They're going to have to feed livestock for the foreseeable future until we can get that grass to grow back.
A fire still burning as the community around it collects for the cause. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
All right, we're looking at 534 right now, 66 degrees outside, 27 million minutes of reading. Yeah, San Antonio's third graders on a record-breaking run. You're going to see how they're turning pages and making history in the Read to the Final Four challenge, and which local schools made it the Elite Eight.
And new parents, listen up here. Tests with infant formula show that some brands contain dangerous heavy metals. Ahead at 6 o'clock. What is safe for your newfound baby?
And good morning. Welcome back to GMSA this morning. San Antonio police looking for the person or people who shot 2 men. This is what happened. Both of the victims are in the hospital as of this morning, but it happened on West Laurel Street yesterday near I-10 in Zarzamora. San Antonio police say officers found the 2 men who had been shot in their legs. Investigators say that a witness saw a black car speeding away after the shots were fired.
And another dog attack here in San Antonio sending a 65-year-old woman to the hospital. Right now, it's unclear if the dog's owner will be facing any charges. This happened yesterday on West Avenue near Loop 410 on the city's near north side. Animal Care Services says that a neighbor's dog bit the woman on her leg after 2 dogs got out of a neighbor's yard. The woman is expected to be okay. ACS took the dog into their custody and say that they are now investigating.
Now, South San ISD is one step closer to implementing a new curriculum for the next school year. It's called the Blue Bonnet Learning. The district's board has officially approved buying it and begin the process of putting it into place. Superintendent Dr. Sala Iniosa says that it will help students succeed and make teaching easier.
We need to have a curriculum that's going to be providing rigor, that's aligned, that makes teaching easier. Right now, teachers are having to go search for materials and bring in, it takes a lot of time in order to do that.
Now, there are some complaints. Some people are complaining that the reading part of the curriculum is, quote, Bible infused. According to Blue Bonnet section on the Texas Education Agency's website, curriculum's learning materials can, quote, include a religious topic sampling from a wide range of faiths. Dr. Iniosa says that his district hasn't decided which part of the curriculum to keep, but he said that they will be decided this summer when a committee goes through the lesson plans. New rules can make it more complicated for some people to collect their Social Security benefits. One rule, starting March 31st, requires people who can't prove their identity online to visit a field office. Another bars beneficiaries from changing their bank account information by phone starting March 29th. Those changes come as the agency is closing some field offices and trying to reduce its workforce by about 12%.
President Trump just signed an executive order giving states, local governments, and even citizens more power to handle disasters, everything from cyber attacks to extreme weather. This comes as he's openly talked about dismantling FEMA, saying that states should take the lead on disaster relief. During a visit to hurricane-ravaged North Carolina, Trump said that he'd even like to see FEMA just go away.
In the UK, 2 men have been found guilty of stealing a gold toilet valued at, get this, $6 million. So the fully functioning 18-karat art installation was on display in an English estate that was once home to Winston Churchill. In 2019, a gang smashed into the property and stole the glittering commode. It was never recovered, but investigators believe the burglars broke it up into smaller chunks of gold and sold them off. On Tuesday, 2 men found guilty of the charges related to the crime. Sentencing will be at a later date.
Just flush their lives down.
There you go, man.
Okay, taking a look at live cam here. 66 degrees outside, 5:40 on your Wednesday morning.
Can you imagine reading for 25 million minutes? I can't, but get this. That's 47 years of nonstop reading, and San Antonio third graders are up for the challenge, and they dominated. Find out how these young readers are making history in the Read to the Final Four competition.
And you're used to seeing Dollar Generals pop up in some pretty random spots in the middle of nowhere sometimes. Just ahead, we're going to tell you how many, though, could be closing.
5:44 right now. Welcome back. Okay, so can you imagine reading for 25 million minutes? That's a lot because, again, check out the breaker behind us. It may look like March Madness, but it's a program that promotes reading.
Yeah, March Madness style here. San Antonio area third graders have done that and much more. It's part of the Read to the Final Four Challenge, a celebration of San Antonio's role, of course, in this year's men's Final Four. 30-plus school districts, more than 26,000 students. You see all these schools right here were recruited to be part of this bracket-style competition. Third graders were asked to read the most minutes. The Elite Eight were Nimitz Elementary School, Pecan Valley, Royal Ridge Elementary, Wembley Elementary, Harmony School of Science, Crewald Road, Burke Elementary School, and Freedom Elementary School. So shout out to those schools there. One Burke Elementary student is encouraging others here in the city to read.
To always read more, because the more you read, the more intelligent you get, and you could get facts from books that you don't know yet.
So if you haven't figured it out yet, goal is to engage young kids in the spirit of sports and reading. And of course, you can see how other elementary schools place. Check out this full bracket right now at KSAT.com. What a creative way to get kiddos in their books.
Yeah, definitely. So congratulations to those 8 teams that have made it so far. Cannot wait to see the end results here. How about the traffic situation right now? Let's take a look here at the southwest side of town. Basically, that's Southwest Military right here. We did have a stalled vehicle be reported 35 north right there at Zarzamora. So again, this is not causing any major delays right now. And again, it looks like TxDOT may be clearing this out. So again, this is Southwest Military out there, south to southwest side for all of our folks in that one particular area. But we will get you to the northeast side because this is our biggest delay at the moment. Let's take you zoom over there. And we are still seeing some backups here, basically from parts of the Forum area down to Retama, Live Oak, and now stretching to parts of Topperwine. So again, this is all of our traffic going northbound right now. And again, this is some overnight lingering construction issues that we're seeing out there in the northeast side of town. Justin, how are things looking out there?
Well, RJ, one question we've been getting is why are we seeing so many days of wildfire concerns and grass fire concerns? Well, one point here is that we do see this every year, but this year it's been maybe a little bit worse. And the big reason I'd say is La Nina. You know about El Nino and La Nina. It's, of course, affected by the Pacific Ocean temperatures. But one thing La Nina does is it shifts rainmakers further north. So we miss out on the rain, but we still get some of these gusty winds. It does strengthen the winds, too, so these systems get a little more wound up. And when they do, they pick up the winds maybe more than we're used to. And that's what we've seen so far in the month of March. So La Nina, one of the big reasons behind all this. And how much rain do we need to end the drought? Of course, the drought plays a role in this, too. And when you look at these areas, and so we kind of broken them into 3 areas, 21 inches is what we need to get rid of the drought in the hill country. 27 inches of rain for our eastern counties and 20 inches down to the south and west. These are huge numbers. I don't want to say they're insurmountable, but we've got a lot of work to do. We got to get a lot of rain in here before we can say goodbye to the drought. I will tell you there's a small chance of rain on Sunday. Not a big chance, but we could see a couple thunderstorms. It's a day we'll be watching, but I wouldn't expect a lot of rain. So nothing in the short term that tells us we're going to be getting out of the drought anytime soon. 66 degrees at the airport. It is humid right now, 60s in most spots. we'll see those temperatures make their way up to 73 by noontime. High of 80 today with mostly clear skies, but those gusty winds will be the big issue, along with the very dry air. We're still watching these dew points. Look at the dew point in Rock Springs, -11. You don't see that very often. That dry air will be in here by sunrise this morning. We got dew points in the 60s now. Again, that will not last. The wind gust forecast today. We'll see some gusts close to 35 today. As we get into tonight, we'll see some gusts close to 30. Bottom line, it'll be a windy day, windy to breezy day. And the temperatures should be right around 80 degrees or so. Extreme fire danger, though, that is the big takeaway this morning. And we'll see less wind tomorrow. That's the good news. 74 on your Thursday. Friday, 80 degrees, and then we're back into the mid-80s this weekend with that small chance of rain, as mentioned, on Sunday. Okay, our Just Ask Justin question this morning has to do with sports, because I love sports and I love basketball. Which of these Texas schools has not made it to the NCAA championship basketball game? Not necessarily won it, just been there. Your choices are Texas Tech, UTEP, SMU, and Houston. Right now, we're split between UTEP and SMU. You can scan the QR code or go to KSAT.com/poll to weigh in.
Let's go. Okay, 5:49, 66 degrees outside, and up next.
We're going to tell you why and when Dollar General, yes, you see them right there, known for all their convenient locations, could actually close nearly 100 of its stores. 5:52 in your morning consumer headlines. Dollar General looking to close nearly 100 of its stores across the country. The company plans to make this move at some point between now and the beginning of next year, closing 96 of its stores. This also includes 45 of its home decor store, Pop Shelf. These closures represent less than 1%, though, of the company's overall store base.
More than 2,000 families in our area have a family member with an intellectual developmental disability, and they, along with their caregivers, need that help. Limited funding makes it hard for them to get that essential service, but you can help. We got a KSAT community hosting a phone bank Thursday, March the 27th. We invite you all to join us to connect families with vital services and spread that awareness about the need of individuals with IDD.
Okay, 66 degrees out there, 5:53 again on your Wednesday morning.
How would you like to be eating your dinner and then you find a piece of wood-like material inside?
Yep.
Well, still to come, what you need to know about the recall of a popular frozen meal brand. Welcome back. If you're eating a bowl of cereal, you may want to brace yourself because Nestle recalling some of its frozen Stouffer's and Lean Cuisine meals over a potential wood-like material found in them. So the specific meals being recalled are the Lean Cuisine butternut squash ravioli, the spinach artichoke ravioli, and then the lemon garlic shrimp stir fry, as well as the Stouffer's party-sized chicken lasagna. The meals were distributed at the major U.S. retailers between September 2024 and this month.
Yeah, definitely check your fridge there.
Yeah.
Ahead at 6 o'clock, the White House releasing thousands of new JFK assassination records. We're going to tell you what's been revealed. Also look back at his time here in San Antonio and what remains hidden. Plus,
it's really a career for those who want to come in and develop themselves and grow.
So this is a cool story because with thousands of jobs ready to go in the manufacturing industry here in San Antonio, Goodwill San Antonio holding a boot camp just for you, how you can work to a brighter future.
and quick check of Drive Cam. We do see we have an incident out there. We're going to check in with Alex Gomez here in just a bit. More construction on the northeast side. All of that coming up on the next hour.